Hello. Okay. Let's get set up. Hello. It is Werewolf for hello. Okay. So, Michael J. Lassiter, Rachel Powell, John Royski, Jordan Bunce, Patrick Redding, John C., Larry Hughes, Lindy Vito, Misty Jazierski, Michael, just Michael, Tugberg Studio, A Knocks on the Moon, Stanley S., Kirk Mataya, DM Cash, Cindy, Line Cook Thor, Stacy Hawkins, Ron Shopes, Ron, hi Ron, Kenneth Booth, good to have you back, sir, James Kelly, Edith Demshar, South Omaha Horror, Philly G 1001, Linda Forbes, Scott Creighton, Captain Marga, hello, good to see you on. Kilby, okay. Well, it just says Michael, and that's so rare for a YouTube screen name to be just like, that's Bob. Okay. Hello, Spook Shack SPFX, Stephen Scott, Sheps, Ron Sheps, and now I know. I may not remember, but right now I know. Trav's Gardens, Trav's Haunted Yard, Chris Mayfield, Ken Zarish, and I feel caught up. Whew. Anybody else? You don't get a custom hello, except for Joanne Crowley. All right, so I'm trying something new today. I'm not plugged in. I am completely unplugged. I bought those little like battery charger thingy dobs for your phone, and I've got one plugged in there, and I got one charging there. So we'll see if going cordless makes my life easier. Eventually I'll get a mic stand, and then it's one pole instead of 3 giant tripod legs. I'm trying. My wife would say, I'm very trying. All right. And it is the end of a Sunday here. Or it's the middle of a Sunday, depending upon how late you stay up. All right. We're going to work on a werewolf. This one right here. You know what? I am so glad to share my shop life with you. This is, it's interesting. You know, this is kind of different. You know, it's like the TV shows that are filmed live in front of a studio audience. This is stuff being made in front of a studio audience. It's 8 p.m. here as well, Kenneth. We're not going to go UV on the werewolf, no. But first, I'll show you guys something cool. Okay. See that? You know what that is? It's the moving jaw werewolf sculpt. It has really different eyes in, and it's been changed a little bit. Anybody know what this is? Little Grim Reaper, little hood, or little skull. That's not what it is, actually. It's not a little Grim Reaper. No, without a skull. Tell you what, it's this. It's the beginning. This is the first, like, aside from like the head, which is kind of sometimes the hard part. This is a Masters of the Universe arm from the elbow down. Yeah, so this is like stage 1 of Beastman costume. So, you know, like whatever the Masters of the Universe is, the character will get a gauntlet of some kind. and then you have hands, and I will do the upper arm, and I will do shoulders. So this is, yeah, feels good to have it on. You know, I'm ready to punch some folks. I'm always ready to punch folks, but yeah, I have beefy forearms, by the way. That is a super beefy forearm. It's also right and left. So it also works on this arm. So I just sculpted it so it's right and left. Now I can't do that with the shoulders, but I can from here. So my other one's being poured up. Isn't that exciting? I think it's exciting. Okay. Now, maybe I'm more excited about it than you guys are. That's fine too. So remember I dropped this eyeball and I broke it? Well, yep, I broke it. But I'm going to just replace it when it closes. Another eyeball has been ordered. I have to order them in pairs. So now I got to think of something cool to do with one eyeball. You don't really notice the broken one, but I can't do that to a customer. You know, if I just brought that brow down further to make him look angrier, you know. I've got one beefy arm. Does anybody out there aside from Stacy know what that is from? Here. This is a little bit Elijah. The Skelly Pirate from Goonies. It was from Homestar Runner. That's right, Horror Beauty. You're more nerdy than I gave you credit for. So we're going to start with a dark brown on him. I'm going to do a little bit of brown and a little bit of black, which means I has to get the black. Consummate V's? I don't know what that is. Goonies is good, but we all have to come to the mutual conclusion that Monster Squad is better than Goonies. That has to be a universal truth that we all agree upon, that Monster Squad is better than Goonies. Trogdor! Peasants running around with their heads on fire. That's right. Goonies did have swords. You know what? So did Monster Squad at the very beginning when the Van Helsing crew was fighting the Dracula crew. So there was some swords. Now, had Goonies left in the giant Kraken scene that they cut out, maybe we could have another conversation. But the version that hit theaters, well, Monster Squad gave me a reason to wear a cup in a haunted house for many, many years. I also, I didn't identify at all with the Monster Squad kids because, to me, they were all rich kids. I know that's a little silly, but they were all rich kids. And it might not even have been all rich kids, but they seemed that way. The Spielberg cut will never see the light of day. Hello, Mike Murphy. Good to see you on. Justin Rudy. I'm going to move us to over here because I can't read the comments, and right now it's just me. Yeah, they did mention the crack. That's because your Monster Squad kids didn't have a Rudy. If they had a Rudy, then you would not have beat up those kids. When it gets to a caramel consistency, you can thin it down with xylene, but it doesn't have much longer left in the world. Like, it's not going to last a long time. Ken Zarish, what I'm making a mask for a client, and it is not like I don't have it within my power to just make decisions for them like that. This is work. I'm working, and you know, like maybe there's some documents at work you can't just decide to use green ink on. I can't decide to change what his eyes are supposed to look like. We talked. We established some reference images, and now I am making what we talked about. If I can't make what we talked about, then there's a problem. Yes, you do what the client wants you to do. I think a mic stand is going to work, Captain Marga. I think a mic stand will work. It's just a matter of getting it ordered in here. Now, I had a brush, and I started dry brushing. Oh, set it over there. It's all good. Hello, Dakota. My Dakota. Yes, it's a werewolf. Thou art correct. This is a really dark brown. And I will go over it with a little bit of a lighter brown after a while. I think the ears are just going to leave black because they're going to get hair all over them. Always put your paint over there when you're painting over here so you can get some exercise. Pro tip. It wasn't poor planning. I was just wanting a little of exercise while I was making stuff. Okay. Go Saints. Okay. Do I scrap off the counters? Yes. Well, about once a year. I don't do it like quarterly or anything like that. 6 months to a year, I will change them out. Aha, Kenneth Booth. I was a little confused, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. Yeah, he does look a little derpy without his lower jaw. I will admit you that. Let's grab his lower jaw and get it painted as well. Cut them cheeks, yo. Cut them. I don't use much of anything aside. If I don't put on the back brace, then it hurts. If I put on a back brace while I'm in here, then normally it doesn't hurt. So it's not terrible. Now it comes and goes. It gets a little worse sometimes, but right now it's normally manageable. It has been bad on occasion. It all depends. I'm working on being less fat, and that's helping a lot. Yes, I have a concrete floor. Every now and then I'll stand on a mat or pad or whatever, and I sit down when I work when I can. Like right now, I'm going to bring my chair over. Yeah, the issue that I have with the foam flooring is that it makes it really hard to clean. So there's ups and downs. I think we're going to go straight white on the teeth first, then we'll wax them. The antiquing wax. Rotten. People tend to watch my making mask stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, just covered in plastic. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes. Oh, luckily I got my glasses. The glasses are new too. A little more frustrated about that. I hear you, Ken. Now I do want to leave black in between the teeth, but I want to get these teeth painted white, and I'll paint these a little bit differently than I normally paint teeth, simply because I know that this is actually going to be used in a movie, so I'm going to be a little more thorough. I assume they're going to like this the way that they want to. It's not necessarily going to be in a dark haunted house only. The mucho squishy one with holes in it. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Spook Shack. I'm okay. Hello, Nicholas. You did make it. I have one little coat of dark brown on this guy, and now I'm working on teeth. I was just explaining how he's painting a little bit different. The snowman costume altogether is $1,000. It's an involved build, you know. It's not like it's a mold, and if it was a mold, it would be a giant mold. I think the snowman mask is $225, if I recall. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. See, what happens is I go all day with notifications off because the night before I turn them off to film, and then I turn them on again like late afternoon because I realize, hey, I'm not getting any notifications. And then I go live and y'all say, remember on notifications. Rotten Monster, I go live a lot. Okay, I go live a lot. Um, let's say between 4 and 5 nights a week I go live. It could be days. I could have gone earlier today, but lots. Yeah, I take off Tuesdays and Thursdays, in theory. Although this Thursday I was live for about 3 or 4 hours, which is like taking off, right? And my wife may join us, or she may not. She had some things going on over at house. I had a very productive morning over here. Then I did some running around this afternoon. Oh, well, watch out for those storms, yo. Have I tried balloon paint? Do you mean paint made with balloon rubber latex? Or is there a brand called balloon paint? Thanks, Rotten. I appreciate that. We try. And hello, Glamour Ghoul. I go live a lot making monsters and doing monstery things. Mostly it's for haunted house costumes and characters. The live videos are mostly paint, are mostly mask making, and then the YouTube Wednesday videos that I put out on Wednesday, those are all like how to do different haunted house things. And I want to make sure that I paint the backs of the teeth on this. I have not tried balloon paint. I know that some people mix their paint with balloon latex, but I have not tried balloon paint. No. I'll check it out. What's it for? Like, what do you use it on? I don't always paint the backs of teeth, but since this is going to be in a movie, I will. In movie work, one of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to limit the options of the director. You know, if you only paint the front of it, then you can't get cool over the shoulder shots. You know, I mean, if you don't do something, you're going to limit what they have the capability of doing. Huh, the foam latex. Well, we use almost exclusively foam latex prosthetics. We do some encapsulated silicone at dark hour, but mostly it's foam latex prosthetics. And those are, we just paint them with the same makeup we use on the actors, which is European body art and Dura. Alexa, add balloon paint to my shopping list. Hello, Lisa. Yeah, and I'm painting the teeth in bright white. They're not going to stay bright white. I will actually end up, you know what, and I have a booger on this tooth that I want to Dremel out. Let me paint the others and then I'll Dremel that one. It's not bad, it's a little hiccup in the mold, but it's a quick Dremel fix. I just have not done it yet. It's time. So, okay, how can you blend edges better with foam latex? A, start with thin edges. But we also use a product called Zombie Skin, which is a whipped latex, and we put that on our edges and we blend out with that, and that actually works really well. I normally use the felt tip on the wheel. That's what I normally use. It works really good. Tell you what, every night is kind of different, and tonight is going to be a question night, and that's cool. This mask is straight latex. Now it has EVA foam clay eyes, it has EVA foam ears right now. Those are going to get covered in fur or hair, fur and hair, so I don't have a giant concern about them all melding together. When you're making monsters, the most kind thing that you can make them out of is hair or fur, because it's just so forgiving. DM Cash, well, I would go with classics. I would go with ghosts and scarecrows and witches. Those are very good for Halloween themes. You can even get away with vampires and werewolves. Those are good for Halloween theme. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry. Thanks, Stacy. I normally use hair weave hair. That's what I normally use. That's my main go-to. Right now, I have to get a Dremel. Look, oh, I actually have my Dremel's quick draw right now. I forgot about it. I have the latex Dremel and the EVA foam Dremel set up right there. Easy grab on a bungee. Well, it's not ponytails. It's all sewn together on a strip. It's for hair weaves. And it covers a lot of ground and it looks good, which are my main criteria. It's all sewn onto a strip. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is this tooth in mold, all right, this was very dry when it was molded. So this tooth broke off during the molding process. So it's all molded together, but it's kicked over a little bit. It's all solid enough latex, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to Dremel it into the right shape. Yes, they do use it to make wigs. Going to shift where the point is, so I'm kind of doing that first. Okay. I appreciate that you are under this false belief that I am organized at this point in time, but I try. My plan is to do a shop tour, and maybe I'll film that tomorrow. But every now and then, I run around the shop and show folks what all the other rooms are. Maybe I'll do that tonight. We'll see. And I just have so many projects that if I'm not some degree of organized, then I'm in trouble. Every now and then I'll have a big project come along, and that kind of wrecks me, and then I have to reset. I'm not worried about basing the tooth out in black. I think that it'll just go white, no problem. That is much better. It's a separate building from my home. Hello, 118 people. I hope you guys had a great Sunday. A plaque doctor. I have a drawer with that's just full of scissors, about 30 pair in it. Now, is the exact pair you're looking for in there at any given point in time? That is a great question. Especially if Rue has been over and helping, because he just puts stuff wherever he wants. Yeah, well, there's ink is stored on the door, the alcohol-based ink. The acrylics are stored over there on a shelf. And the latex mask paint is supposed to live over there, but I use it over there, so it's between those two. My weekend was pretty much in here. I was in the shop the whole time, which isn't bad. I like being in the shop. Yeah, it wouldn't ever take us 2 hours to find brown ink. And you guys were a little high. And this way. I also have a lot of different folks who are in the shop helping, and sometimes they put things away where they think they ought to go, and most of the time that's fine and encouraged, but sometimes it's not where I would put it, so. And I'm not always the best communicator. I've decided this goes here, as opposed to that's where it is right now. Why are we congratulating Patrick? I would also like to congratulate him, but I want to know why. Realms, I did not see your question. I'm sorry, sir. It's just moving a little fast for just me today. I'm not seeing all the comments because, A, I'm painting teeth, and that's a detailed task. And there are 120 people who are awesome and amazing. And I'm playing hard to get by not giving them all of my attention and hoping that they come back for more. That's sort of the definition of how YouTube works. Oh, very cool. That's awesome. And you got to do it. Alarog, which I just realized is gorilla backwards. Thank you. That's a very big compliment, actually. What I love about this is the community and how much y'all are willing to help me. I really appreciate that. You guys, I'm having to paint in a weird position to get to the back of these teeth. You're just going to have to handle it. Now, I'm going to do another layer of brown because. Realms, I'm going to be honest with you, the possums don't have a great place to sign. They don't have a great place to sign. So, I'll give it a shot. That's what I'll do. I'll give it a shot. Have this nice dark brown color. This is my chocolate werewolf. Nothing will kill you as smooth as a chocolate werewolf. Not a fan of silver bullet, so I choose Colt 45. That was If the Werewolf was played by Billy D. Williams. Under the fur, got it. Mr. Eon, I don't know if that's possible or not. I'm going to be honest with you. You're lucky that I know how to do anything on devices. Like, I'm trying to get it figured out. I've been working for months to get multi-camera streaming. I can't give it a dog collar because this is for a client and I have to do what the client wants done with it. So some options are not options simply because it's not for the client. The base werewolf for this is on the website. This is the moving jaw werewolf. I think it's 175. It comes in a lot of different colors, but this has a lot of upgrades on it, which is pushing it much more towards the $500 mark because it has glass eyes, has several kinds of hair. We're making a tongue. This werewolf in particular is a little bit complicated. Probably my favorite movie creature is Pumpkinhead, followed by Cathoga from Relic, followed by the werewolf featured in the movie Bad Moon. That's probably my favorite werewolf. These are huge ears, but when all the hair is on, the hair is going to come out to about here, so the ears will not seem as huge as they are right now. Okay, I keep moving you backwards because I want you to see as much as possible. Nicholas, it'll be easier if I do this in brown hair and then use inks and stuff to airbrush it darker. Because if I go black hair on it, then what's going to happen is it won't show up. It's hard to bring black fur up in color. It's easier to bring brown down. That's why you'll see me do this in brown hair. Yeah. Hello, Celeste Kitty. And the Haunt Dermots again. Hello. I too am a little slow today. I've been pushing pretty hard this whole weekend. All right. I have a couple things happening in here where this is foam clay that's glued, and I'm doing a under pattern of these speckles, which just won't show up in the final. This is just breaking up the paint job, basically. It's a straight brown paint job. And all these speckles are going to help me make it blend in. This like frazzled brush technique I really love. I don't get to do it a lot. Hello from San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, make some cemetery statues. That'd be great. Unlucky Buddha. Acme comment. Do you want me to explain this breakup pattern further? Is that what you want? Or the hair stuff further? If you see, I'm not painting this. I have white paint in here. I'm not painting it white. I am using a very frazzled brush to jab on these white speckles. And I'm going to actually airbrush this with an ink. And the ink has some translucency to it. And it's going to react differently to the brown paint than to the white. It'll all be brown, but it'll have some lighter patches in there, which is a good thing, especially when you're trying to hide the like, see how much even now this transition is hidden more than it was before? Yeah, it's a breakup pattern. It's very common. It's if you have like a lot of something painted one color, just do a little breakup on it. A lot of folks will use a sea sponge because that has a nice random pattern, and you can twist it. And I'm just going to paint this one to match. I don't have anything to hide on this one, but it would look silly if this one did not match. And this is, I'm just kind of underpainting. Okay. You can live from this. Alexander Fuentes. I don't know what you mean. I'm live right now. I'm reading what you're saying. Yeah, yes, you can do that. I normally use a bigger sponge, but normally I'm trying to break up big areas. Most of the time, I make a lot of big stuff, like, big costumes and things. Fairy Lover 33. Love off the money from this, I think he means. I would wet them because you want it soft. You don't want it very hard. I do okay. I mean, all right. My life is not simple, but I do everything, and I'm very busy. I work very hard, and I'm very busy. But everything I do, I love doing. I make masks and costumes for haunted houses all around the world and collectors at this point. I am the director of a haunted attraction that has a year-round staff. I do that also for a living. That's 12 months out of the year, 40 hours a week. I have, at a Renaissance festival, I have a mythical monster museum, and which happens in the spring, and I have to get ready for that. The masks and costumes mostly happens in the spring too. I get ready for a show called Trans World, which is a big trade show. And then I also have a YouTube channel that I do videos for 5 days a week. And all of Tuesday is me shooting YouTube Wednesday and editing YouTube Wednesday. Normally it takes me between 2 and 4 hours to shoot it, and then about 8 to 10 hours to edit it. So, I mean, that's a day out of the week, every week. I work a lot, but I love everything I do. I love making monsters. I love the Renaissance Fair stuff. I love talking to you guys with the YouTube stuff. So, yeah. Yes, and I don't do movie stuff. I do haunted attraction stuff. I don't do movie things most of the time. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and mix into this white some brown and a little bit of black. And I'm actually going to use that and then do another stipple over top to break that up a little further. Does 13th floor let you make props for them, Celeste? And if you work there, why weren't you there, people? How did that work? Heather Corey, very good. Whimsical Griffin, I love your name. The ears are just EVA foam right now, but I'm going to hair over them. I always do EVA foam on my werewolf ears so that I can change them up. And now I have two colors in my speckle. I don't just have white, I have two colors. I have white and a light brown. I did say Ren Fair, I'm a monster hunter. Are you not with Warehouse 31? Oh, you were at Warehouse 31 in Alabama, right? That's an interesting show out there. Yes, I did show the werewolf feet. That's very cool with the costume predator. Nice. Hello, Pennywise 753. Good to see you on. And you'll notice as I'm hitting, I'm rotating the brush. I don't want the same pattern over and over. So I'm rotating the brush as I move my hand to make sure that it gets mixed up. Very cool, whimsical. Very cool. That's all fun stuff. I have a couple friends who work out there. Florida, St. Augustine. Okay, that's right. They did have one in Florida. I forgot about that. Another Warehouse 31. Listen, Alarog,
I always act. Like when we're open, I have a director of actors who handles stuff. I have a tech manager who handles stuff, and I get suited up and play because I don't make enough money to not scare people in a haunted house. It'd pay me a lot more to not do that. It does look a little bit like the Spurs Coyote. Okay, those two are set. I don't think the teeth are dry enough yet because I gave them kind of a hard coating. Let's go grab the fur. Oh, dragon puppet, that's fun. There are lots of mini fogger setups from the vaping stuff. And you can see a lot of cool tutorials for it. And actually there's several companies who sell mini foggers made out of that. I think one's called like Cosplay Fog or something like that. We'll go with a nice dark brown fur here, and we'll be able to airbrush in the black. And you guys wait right there because I got to dig in that filing cabinet too. Okay. Come on. Yeah, see, I think mic stand is the way to go because there's tripod legs. They are big. Compass robe. Moving Jaw Werewolf 2018. That's what I need. Lots of stuff is drying right now. I might be getting ready for a mask lab or something. Hello, Mickey Webster. I'm drowning, wife.
Here. Here. Ooh.
You know where to go.
Which one?
Yeah.
Why are you drowning?
There's a lot of people on and they're very chatty.
Okay.
They're lovely people and I don't mind you being chatty, but now my wife is here to save me and I won't miss all of your comments.
Something did not get asked.
Yeah, you'll have to ask it again if you ask a question you would like an answer to and I did not get to it. You're getting lots of hello, wife. And yes, she brought the dogs with her. Paul Bennett.
Hashtag, hey wife.
Hey, wife.
Hey wife.
Bloody effects makeup. Do you like monsters and do you like making stuff? Right now we're making a werewolf, but I make lots of things. Yesterday I made Pellic from Nightbreed. And tonight, I don't know if I'll finish out this werewolf tonight. It's already 9 p.m. here. But I'm glad you showed up to hang out with us. My cat Jones is also very excited, as you guys can hear.
Okay.
You know what? I'm working in one corner of the shop, and that is foolish because everything in my shop is on wheels. And I can just move it where I want. I don't have to be all bunched up. Isn't that better? That's better.
everybody can hear Jonesy. Jones! What's up, buddy?
Fur direction is very important. I'm going to grab a silver Sharpie.
I want to see Jonesy.
You're up.
Okay. Come here, baby. Come here, my friend. Hi.
Bones Jones.
Jonesy.
Okay. Normally I just mark the direction the hair is going, just so I never get confused.
This is Jones. Jonesy is a ginger tabby that was rescued. He's looking at me like, lady, put me down. I'm hunting. That was rescued.
Crinkling paper he's not a fan of either.
Jones! Jones was rescued on a hot night right before the show out of a drainage ditch. Now he lives here.
So, someone asked, why am I making a werewolf? Someone ordered a werewolf. I do things for money. And mostly those things involve making monsters or scaring people. So, this is a pattern set to fit this head.
Yes, Allegon Gorilla Jonesy is named after the ginger tabby in Alien, which the Alien series is I'm a fan of. And the fact that the cat survived is a big deal to me. So yes, I always said if we ever found a ginger tabby, that we would name him Jonesy. And so he's our boy. He's 2 years old. Angel Martinez says, I have 2 orange tabbies. Rum Tum, good name for a kitty. And Runestone, good name for a kitty. John C., a drainage dish about to be flooded with alien blood. Shannon rescued him at the last second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Bloody Effects Makeup.
What a great name.
What a great name. What a great name. That is a very good name. Jonesy, come here, buddy. Oh, my friend. Cat workshop equals happy.
Yeah.
Mr. Eon, we have some mascots around this place.
See, and here's my normal ear pattern for that. And you can tell that those ears are much bigger. This is the normal size ear that I put on. And if you cut the ear out of EVA, I laser cut those, and I normally laser cut the fur too. But you can do the ear normal, like normal off the head like this, or you can attach it this way and then fold it over, so you have the ear that is sort of curled back, and that's how those are done. So those are glued down like this way, this side and this side. So, I mean, you have a lot of options.
You know an old acquaintance of mine in Canada, Pete Manger from KREAFX, Create FX.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Mr. Eon, so maybe not obvious to all, but please explain to the watchers why you are cutting the fur from the back. What a good question.
If I were to cut the fur from the other side, I'm just going to cut all this overhang. And all this overhang is what hides my seams. I want to leave all of that. So I just cut as little as possible from the back side in order to have that main attainment.
BladeFX says, wait, laser cutting fur? I have found my home.
Yeah, that's kind of the best way to do it, I have found. And all of these have a big arrow on them, and that tells me which way the fur is supposed to go. That way, you don't have the fur going up one side of the face and down the other side of the face. That would stink.
Do you have two-way stretch or one-way?
I have 0-way stretch. I have patterning. That goes this way, so this one goes this way, and that's the same.
Where do you get such large rolls of material?
I get my fur from Monterey Mills, which is kind of an industrial fur company. They make a lot of different industrial products, one of which is craft fur. This is the shag variety with a 3 3¼ inch pile length. So Monterey Mills is who I get that from. Well, if you're buying in bulk, it's the best prices. This is roughly $11.50 a yard if you buy a 22-yard roll, which I do.
Hi, you have inspired me to build my own graveyard thing. Used graveyard statues video for inspiration.
Awesome.
Noah Bolton.
That's awesome, sir.
Leonard Cook says, good evening, glad to find you on tonight.
Yeah, I just have a lot to do, so I thought going live would help.
Bloody Effects says, the fact that you have bolts of fur is a dream, truly a dream.
I try to keep my shop stocked. So if someone says, oh my God, I need this in 2 weeks, I can make it. I don't have to wait for stuff to be ordered. I did have a cool pair of glass eyes, but I dropped one and broke it. So I do have to wait on that eye. But I'm building everything, and then I'll just pop out the old eye, pop in the new eye, a glua, a good as newa.
Celeste Kitty says, we went down a rabbit hole yesterday and found out about the pink foam sheets to make graveyard statues with. I am forever broke now. And now the neighbors will have 24/7 Halloween.
Hooray! 24/7 Halloween. So I was being applauded for my organization earlier, and now I cannot find the knife that I want. So this channel, if you're watching for an hour, it's 15 minutes of me making stuff, 15 minutes of me talking, and 30 minutes of you guys watching me look for the thing I just had in my hand. Blah. Constantly tripping over a power cord.
Telling you to look under the fur.
It's not under the fur because I haven't gotten the knife out yet.
Hey, Alan Matra.
Hello, Al Matra.
Have you tried the Grimace eyes? They are a couple of bucks each.
The what eyes?
Grimace, Grimas.
No, normally I get eyes from Van Dyke's Taxidermy. Or I make my own.
Any recommendations on how to make realistic octopus tentacles for them to keep their shape? I'm being Ursula for Halloween.
At this point in time, the material with which I make a lot of things, and I have made lots of octopus and kraken tentacles, is
What do you
okay. I lost my train of thought. Hang on.
Tentacles?
Tentacles. It is the underlayment foam, polyethylene. I love it. I made a kraken out of it. 2, 3. When did I make the kraken?
About 5 years ago.
5 years. Man, time flies. 5 years ago, I made a 30-foot, well, 40-foot from tentacle tip to tentacle tip with a 5-foot body structure in the center. All out of the underlayment foam. Really good stuff. This is the knife that cut the snot out of me the last time that I put a fresh blade in. Now Jonesy is calm and all is well with the world, as long as he is distracting the wife from reading comments.
Oh, kitty. Let's see. Stanley said be careful with the blades. Now, Vermette, what was the name of the movie that would feature this werewolf?
You will have to ask Nicholas Nicholas. Ask him. Nick knows.
Mystery Eon says the grimace ones are comparable to the 80-buck human eyes that KL does.
Okay.
Celeste Kitty, I have a friend at Promised Land Tannery who uses cheap eyes. She got hit by the fires bad though, and may be busy.
Oh, I have good eye sources. I'm very happy with my eyes. And a light touch because you want to keep as much hanging over as possible.
Do you have an online store? If you don't, you should make one.
We do. We have stiltbeaststudios.com. Stiltbeaststudios.com. How'd they go?
Thanks, Stacy. Stacy just posted the store.
There's a link.
And for those who don't know, we added more blanks tonight.
What did we add?
We added Terrapin, the snapping turtle, Oranguterror, the simian ape, and the Aztec jaguar, who you have not painted yet.
No, I'm painting him on Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm having a mass paint-a-thon live. We do have a Teespring with fun shirts, which I know the next shirt I'm going to make, I just have to take the time to make it.
Good boy. Limelight says, can't wait for that jaguar. What is the difference between using crystal clear versus pledge for a sculpture? Just a Rudy.
Okay, so pledge is a wax. It's a furniture polish, so it's a furniture wax is what it is. And it's a synthetic wax. Crystal clear is a chemical that will harden into basically plastic. However, the formula for crystal clear has changed about 3 years ago, and now it will bond to your plaster. So it's no longer advisable, really, to use crystal clear. Some people combat that by spraying dulling spray over top of the crystal clear to keep it from bonding to the plaster when you're making a plaster mold off a clay sculpture for a latex mask. But, I probably shouldn't do all that gesturing with that knife in my hand. Instead of adding the step of spraying the dulling spray, why not drop the thing that doesn't work anymore instead of having to correct it? Don't use crystal clear, just use pledge. Pledge works awesome on monster clay, oil-based clay, or wet clay.
Travis Garden says, Cat Swift says, next shirt is, but I digress.
I'm not going to mention, but I digress. I do often digress. I get on a rampage here, you know. There's a lot going on.
Did you ever work with Ted Haynes or Bill Bryant?
No, I haven't worked with Ted. Ted and I are friends on Facebook. We're friends, we talk, but he is in the middle of or just finished his mini Monster Palooza that he's doing. Wonderful, great guy. And one heck of a skilled person.
what are the black, brown, and white squeeze bottles for?
Those are full of latex mask paint. And earlier I was painting, and I will be painting again on the werewolf. I was letting everything dry up while everything was drying, I am going ahead and cutting some fur.
144 feet per watching.
Wolf cuts the fur. The whole woods is looking at her. He hit it. Never mind.
Hey.
Whoa,
What is your
whoa.
What is your favorite type of latex?
Casting latex? Casting latex is what you used to make latex masks.
Ken Zarish is singing with you.
Hooray! Thanks, Ken.
I'm doing a dragon for Halloween. What would be a good leatherish skin?
You're gonna say I'm beating a dead horse. Hard to beat that foam underlayment. It's inexpensive and it looks cool. Yes, you can have a drink of my Coke Zero.
What?
Even though you put in no effort at all in getting you one. And you brought water, which is not delicious.
Who put the Cokes in the fridge for you?
Wife put the Coke. You did do work. I'll just get you one.
It's okay. I don't want to pour it. So.
No, I'm going to pour the rest of it in this. Because I do want 2 whole ones. I'm no amateur. I can handle it. Okay. Whimsical Griffin asked about Ted Haynes. If you're not following him on Instagram, you really should be.
And so Griffin says, I work with both of them, and they are pretty cool to work with.
Awesome. Were you involved in the kaiju building that they did? I think they did a series of videos of building kaiju.
The Hot Dermot say, have you made Hordak yet?
I have not yet made Hordak. I will make Hordak. I just haven't had a chance.
Whimsical Griffin says, I was the Kaiju.
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 That's awesome.
I am an FX artist by trade. This is Bloody FX makeup.
Cool.
But I've been melting in the mask world. Why do mask painters use latex plus acrylic rather than a true tack mix of acrylic and no tack prosate?
Because it's just a complication that you don't need. I use 1/3 latex house paint from Home Depot. I use 1/3 casting latex and 1/3 water. And here's the gist of it. All right, here is the gist of it. If the mask has to stretch, prosate doesn't help you. Prosate doesn't have stretch. It's not really stretchy. It is if you freeze it, but it's not that stretchy. So prosate is good. It's a good adhesive, and it is what helps the paint to bond to it. And that's why Pax paint is popular for masks, because almost nothing will bond well to latex because of how much latex stretches. But mixing in the acrylic paint, whether it's house paint or regular acrylic paint, or casting latex, mixing those in with the casting that you made the mask with, it bonds really well. It bonds great. So you don't need an adhesive or an adhesion promoter. You can just use the latex and paint. It bonds as well or better than the prosade. You don't have to worry about gumming up your tools with a different cleaner.
Sorry,
Alan, where do you get that foam underlayment? I loved how the wings turned out.
Home Depot. Home Depot. In the video description, there is a link.
Bianca says, I love your videos. You've taught me a lot, and I'm attempting to make a cabinet.
Awesome.
Similar to the one you made, but on a larger scale at the moment.
Awesome.
Al Matra, hey Al. I love the new blanks on the site. In case you missed it, the finished terrapin and orangutan photos are sideways. What?
I've been drinking.
What? No.
Webmaster's been drinking.
What? No. I didn't even take them sideways. What are you talking about? Blanks? Al Matra, I'm on the website now, and they are not. I do not see them sideways, sir.
Which pictures are sideways, the masks themselves or the blanks? I guess you don't have the masks up, it's just the blanks.
Well, I've got terrapin and orangutan up.
Yeah.
Al Matra, come in, Al Matra, because I do not see that. Have you ever made a Godzilla mask? And if you did, how much was it?
I have not made a Godzilla mask, and I did not. I don't make a ton of movie stuff. I've been making some things as request because just the world is different than it was before. So I have been making a few movie things, but not. So that's fairly new development for me, is making the movie stuff.
Just followed y'all on my Instagram. My Insta is Thrill Overloaded.
Cool. I made a little modification to this pattern. I'm going to get it a little bit tighter on the neck. I leave a lot of neck for flapping, for air to flow for haunted house actors. And I think the more streamlined look of the head and neck is going to be better.
Are you using rolled fur and weave? This is Nicholas asking.
Yes, I'm using both. Honey, check on your mobile.
That's what I'm about to do. I just have to reset my phone. And everything. So excited to catch a live feed first time out of the woods and home before midnight in weeks. Night Terrors Haunted Farm.
Well, I'm glad to have you on. And that means that you're doing well on your build, so that's great. Yeah, this is mostly the back of the head and a little bit of the sides, but this is all going to get blended out with the hair weave hair also.
Limelight, I am on a MacBook, and mine are not sideways. And I am on my, I'm going to check the blanks, I'm on my phone as well.
She's not arguing with you. She's just saying that she cannot replicate the problem.
But I am not finished looking, so thanks for the heads up, guys. I'm going to keep looking.
Sitting back with a beer and a jack-o'-lantern. That sounds like a great evening. My wife is working on website stuff, so I'm kind of looking at my monitor for now.
I got you. I'm still on it.
Okay.
Haunted Farm says we are working hard making stuff.
Hooray! Go make stuff.
Have you ever made a scarecrow mask?
I don't think I've made more than about 1,000 scarecrow masks. I like scarecrows. They're one of my favorite types of monster. And yes, I used to actually make burlap masks like almost exclusively, I don't know, 7, 8, 10, 11 years ago. But I don't do too many of that because the market got saturated enough with burlap masks. But yes, I have. I enjoy making them. And YouTube Wednesday this week is going to be a burlap mask. It's going to be a scarecrow mask. Okay. All right, I'm going to take this.
Wife and I are starting to decorate the house for Halloween today. It'll take a couple of weeks. We really like to decorate for Halloween.
I'm putting this werewolf hood fur over by the sewing machine, so when Stacy gets here tomorrow, she will sew up this cowl.
Hey, Jerry Collins. Unlucky Buddha. Need to set my alarm. What time Wednesday are you going on?
I'll be going live. Wait, no, Wednesday nights. I don't go. Wait, I do go live Wednesday, but YouTube Wednesday is my video that is posted Wednesday morning on the YouTube channel. It's an edited video that I shoot Tuesday, and that's why I'm not live on Tuesday. Wednesday evening, I'll be going live painting a lot of different masks. I'll be doing a paint-a-palooza, and that will be Wednesday right around 7 p.m. Maybe 6:30 if I can get a hustle and get it ready to go. Okay. Now I can get this out the way.
Okay, so what are you making the burlap? When are you making the burlap scarecrow mask?
That'll be posted to my website on Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, you will see that video pop up. Oh. It's mildly inappropriate. Sorry about that. There we go. Hit bottom, good to go. That tile chest is ready for another layer. Do it later. Insect is dry. Gibbering mouther is dry. And I don't just leave my floor strewn with trash. That's my dogs. They like to break down boxes.
Okay, will the scarecrow mask have a hat? I'm trying to make a burlap hat for a jack-o'-lantern.
Yes, it will have a hat.
I wish I could change your monster cake and fly the monster.
Well, they have airplanes. Hello. I fully understand. It may not be possible for you to attend Monster Camp.
My brothers have enjoyed Masters of the Universe villain masks. I send them screenshots of the finished products. I love the nostalgia.
Me too. And that's something, I do those because no one else does them. And I just enjoy them. Okay. You have to baby powder a mask before you pull it out, or else the latex will stick to itself. This is one that Rob poured up. So I don't know how the teeth are going to work out. We'll find out together. All right, so this is a Gibbering Mouther mask. And I will say, Rob did a pretty good job on these teeth. There's a lot of teeth. It's very easy to get air bubbles in this. Somebody message Robert Corey and tell him he did a good job. I said so on the air. He may want proof. And the eye holes are actually here and here. Those are the two eye holes.
My brother's have been in Oakland. Have you ever thought about wearing a GoPro cam?
Yes, I did it for a video. The video is called Witch Bottles. And if you watch that video, you'll know why I never did it again. People vomited. It was terrible. Yes. I actually just got a comment. That video's like 5 years old. And I just got a comment on it this week. It was like, love your channel, love you, never wear the GoPro again. Okay. I experiment. I try stuff. I don't know which way is up.
You quit doing that.
Like, I don't know which...
Hey,
That's the top. Hey, what?
looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. I personally love your original monster work as well. Misty Jizareski says, good night, you gotta go.
Bye. Good night, Misty.
Kenneth Booth, if you could recreate a creature and bring it to life from the George Lucas collections, what would it be?
Okay. George Lucas.
Installations from?
No, the Wampa and the Rancor are probably my two favorite. I'm one of the very rare people. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. But the Wampa and the Rancor are just solid creature design.
Limelight says, Sarlacc.
I have been, I just made a Sarlacc mask a little while ago. I have actually been in several different Wampa suits, and I make a lot of Yetis, which are very Wampa inspired. Yes.
Wow, sweet, that's awesome. Wicked impressive, wicked. It's way sick, nice. Looks like something from H.P. Lovecraft. On this day, September 27th, the year of 2020. Damn it, Rob did well. Lion Cook says, please do not do that again. Do what?
GoPro.
Oh.
I'm going to put this back. I'll be right back. Don't freak out. Don't miss me. Okay. Hang on a second. You spin me right around, baby, right around. I caught you. I caught you. Your mounting was loose. Hate it when that happens.
Okay. Chewbacca. It's Maladurici. Says, I miss you. I already miss you.
Oh, well, I came back. See?
Boy, your dogs have it rough, says their cook.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Alrighty, had to move to the room. What I miss, says Celeste Kitty.
I made some monster stuff. We have
Oh, God.
monster things.
Alagog says, piece of fur on the floor looks like a piece of your doggy is falling off.
Eagle better.
Hey, Body Geeks. Hey, Body Geeks, I sent you an email today about Monster Camp, just checking in. Everything is good to go. Just making sure you saw. Kevin Truth, I thought about doing a few creepy Jawas. I just don't know how I would configure the electronics.
Honestly, so Lighthouse LEDs, they're actually in Oregon. Lighthouse LEDs, or they're in Washington State. They're up there. They're up northwest. Lighthouse LEDs, they have flickering amber LEDs. So you just wire two of them together. I would use a 9-volt and wire that, put the LEDs into the face cloth. Yeah, that's how I do it.
Spook Shack says, see you later. The Hobbit is on. Catch the replay. Have a good night.
Cool, have a good one.
Body Geek says, I'm still on for MC 007. You better be. You've got stuff to come get. Nicholas Fenter, did you say you showed the wolf feet earlier in the video? I'm dying to see them. I love the gloves.
I did not show the wolf feet that they were talking about is feet for jumping stilt werewolf. Jumping stilts. They're werewolf feet. They're for jumping stilts. You have not ordered feet, have you? You asked me about a suit, and I gave you a suit price, but I don't think you ordered a suit.
Body Geeks is headed to Florida tomorrow morning. Be very careful. Alagog says, I saw a group of Jawas at a convention. They were awesome. I bet that was hilarious. I bet that was funny.
Yeah, another customer ordered the stilt feet, and that was a challenging mold. So people were following the progress of the mold of that and the pouring up of that. Now that I have that nice white underpaint, now I'm putting in more of a tooth color on these teeth. And I think this will be the last color that I put on, and then I will antique these with wax. That is the color that I'm putting on right now.
Celeste says, hit up your Dollar Trees, your local Dollar Tree, and get every LED in sight. Wish LEDs for 99 cents. I'm lucky for the cents. Wow, these are great. Mr. I was checking on a clip on Stan Winston's school channel, Mask Making, How to Make Teeth. The artist uses a material called friendly plastic. What are your thoughts about that material?
It's great. We use it all the time. It's basically, it's the fitting beads for the fangs that we sell. And we actually sell that when we go to shows and things. We sell that for folks to make teeth all the time. It's nice. I want a mask to be as little work as possible, in all honesty. I would rather sculpt and mold the teeth in place, and then pour it up. And then have one thing to do. Obviously, this is contradicting that because this has so many different components, and this is a multimedia project in every sense of the word. But normally, I prefer to sculpt and mold the teeth in place. Or I use pumpkin teeth, which you can get on Etsy, which are remarkable. They're perfectly tapered, so you can mold them in the mask and use the pumpkin teeth over and over again to make all kinds of masks.
Says the meth coyote is coming along.
He is.
Nicholas Spencer says, I haven't ordered the suit yet. I'm making sure my producers and I have all the money together first. We don't want a stilt suit, so I really want to see the foot covers. Thanks.
Okay, well, yeah, I've got some straight monster feet that I do on those brown costumes.
Do you use any sort of shiny gloss for the interior of the mouth?
Yes, I do. I use Liquitex High Gloss Varnish.
Celeste says, hubby had a drone obsession for a while, and I got some rolls of those LED lights. Now if I can only figure out where I squirrel stashed them. Pops on the tubes. That is the strangest looking duck, but I am liking it.
I'm glad you like this duck.
Rotten Monster, what would you use for blood on the mask, like blood dripping from the mouth? Bloody Effects says permablood.
You could use permablood. I don't normally use permablood. I like Rip City VFX Haunt Sauce. I also make my own out of either Elmer's clear glue and food coloring, or I might thin down silicone caulking with naphtha, and you could tint that with oil paint. And that's very nice, in my opinion. Okay, let me grab some other colors here. I'm going to mess with the inside of the mouth a little bit while it's apart and open.
Ken Zarish says he watched Cujo last night.
Oh, did it hold up? Has it stood the test of time for you?
Celeste Gibbs says you can use acrylic apple barrel paint and mix it with E6000 and do some crazy stuff.
Yes, the apple barrel paint. I'm not a big fan of the apple barrel because the pigment in those is not ground very fine at all. It doesn't have a thinly ground pigment. So a lot of people try to use those for airbrush, and what happens is the pigments, they cause a clog because they're just not ground well enough, and then the latex bites onto them and forms a little layer around them, just like a oyster forms a pearl.
Limelight is asking about hot sauce.
Rip City VFX. Rip City VFX. I think maybe they're out of Vegas. I think. Yeah, they're out of Vegas if I recall right. But I buy their haunt sauce all the time. I like it. It's good blood, and it's good. They have a prop version and an actor version, which is important to me. The shop is mostly for stuff that is not for like, I don't do makeup in the shop. I do painting in the shop, and there are different processes. So,
Okay. I've been thinking of making a hellmouth type pit for my yard lawn. Any suggestions on how I could create this effect? This is the launch of Dermot's.
a hellmouth type pit. Well, you need to figure out how big you need it to be, and I would do a endless tunnel illusion. If you have some kind of a hill or something to build it into naturally, or you could build it up into a hill. Maybe it is a 3-foot circle, and you put down a base of 2 pieces of plywood, which is an 8x8 square, and you build up a little hill onto that, frame it out to that center circle. That gives you room to stash a fog machine and stuff under it. And then, of course, you can cover that fake mound that you make with sod or AstroTurf, I meant to say. And yeah, endless tunnel illusion is what I would do. You want it to be at least about 2 feet deep. But yeah, I think that would be really nice. I've had some fun with those.
What's something you would like to see on a mask that you haven't seen yet? Says Rockin' Monster.
What would I like to see on a mask that I haven't seen yet? I want noisemakers incorporated in with masks, certainly to a higher degree than it has been. When I did my deranged masks, I would buy little music boxes and I would put music boxes in the mask so that the actor could just kind of turn the key as when the guests were not there, and his face would make that, child music box sound. And I thought that was really nice and effective. Having something like an Aztec death whistle built into the mask so they can just pop a tube into their mouth and blow through it, and then their mask makes a noise for them. If you had, we did a Mothman, and those whistles that are the whistle that they tell you to put them in people's tailpipes, which is, don't do that. We put those in a Mothman, and that worked really well. So, noise, sound. Have the mask, yes, it hits looks, also have it hit sound. I had a tongue once, and it was awesome.
Limelight also suggested the infinite hallway. Buddy says, yeah, what would you say has been your most versatile mask skylight to do different versions of?
I have an orc sculpt that has been so many things. And I also have an elf mask, which was originally a goblin mask. It's been Christmas elves, it's been leprechauns, it gets around. And I probably sell, 30 or 40 of those a year, easy. Atunga.
Have you ever made wolf legs with foam? I see a lot of cosplayers do it to mimic the shape of a wolf's leg.
I have indeed, yes. It works. It's not a bad way to go.
I use apple barrel, but not in an airbrush. Slusky says, no, I like to mix it directly in the E6000 glue. Let's see, Wicked Airbrush Detail Line is the finest pigment. It's used for a top cut gravity feed flow pressure airbrush.
Who said?
John C.
Read what product it was?
Wicked Airbrush Detail Line is the finest pigment. It's used for a top cup gravity feed flow pressure airbrush.
Cool. Something like the there's a Iwata, which is just a super fine. It's meant for super fine detail. The airbrush itself is meant for that. I'm getting set up to paint this tongue, so forgive me.
Michael says, if you're new here to the channel, this is the place where you can learn to create art in very interesting ways. You'll learn more here than in a paid-for class. Thank you, Michael.
Very kind of you. I don't know if it's true.
Alan, have you ever made a Clifton Bunny Man?
A what?
Clifton Bunny Man.
No. I made a lot of bunnies, but not a specific bunny.
It's not okay, says hello.
Hello, Masake.
Hobby Lobby has the FX line of paints with their EVA displays.
They do.
Paul Bennett says good night.
Good night, Paul.
Masato says, I'm so excited I got my lights to sync. I hope my yard haunt rocks.
What kind of program are you using for that? Is it Color Magic or?
Nick says, recommendations on the products to use to make my own FX prosthetics. I need to build a double chin and jowls.
Okay, that means you're going to want good blending. I'd probably go with, jowls imply a lot of weight. Gelatin's going to be a little heavy. Silicone is going to be heavy. I'd probably go with foam latex. You won't get the same movement, and you won't be able to paint it as translucent. But I think that foam latex is probably the best bang for the buck. I'm adding a lot of latex in to this paint, and I'm going to stipple it onto the tongue. That's going to give a texture, add some thickness, and give the tongue, you know, color.
Sato says the mask looks texturelicious.
Yeah, that's all paint. That's all it is right now is paint.
Sato, you missed the "I do things for money" quote. What did you say?
Well, I just said, why are you making a werewolf tonight? I said, I do things for money.
They're laughing at it.
That's just the truth.
Sato says I'm using VSA to make a show with animatronics and control my lighting.
Okay.
148 people are watching.
Hi, everybody. I'm painting a tongue. Like you do. And then this tongue will be added into the mouth. And the latex is giving this enough body to where as I stab it and pull the brush up, I get just a little bit of a texture, and I want that on the tongue. No one wants a smooth tongue. No one, I tell you. Pipe down, you.
Oh, you. Hey, Lanny.
What's up, Lanny?
He says, hold it tight. The slip of the tongue can be bad. Now there's a lot of giggling. Realm says this looks good.
I'm done.
Oh my God, you're a beautiful.
Okay.
Celeste Kitty says, we were at Home Depot getting stuffs and I found a $200 wolfie I need. No 12-foot tall skeletons to be seen though.
This has to dry.
Patrick Redding says, my kids are starting real school tomorrow and he hit sack tonight.
Good night. I'm going to go ahead and ink, meaning airbrush this werewolf. Good night, Ken.
Oh God, Gorilla. Home Depot has some real good stuff for Halloween this year. Bloody Effects, are you using an Ed?
That is an Ed head under there, actually. Yes. Normally, I mean, it's one of the heads that I use, so it happens to be an Ed head. Want to bring the werewolf over?
Says that tongue could use a lick of paints.
Oh.
Did you make the wolf head with the ears? Why did you make the wolf head with the ears swept back?
Because if you have them perked up, they look constantly surprised. And this way he looks fast and he gives a good silhouette profile.
Also, I want the mushroom to be tilted back some. Oh, this is just a Rudy. Okay, Alan, I have one more question about the mushroom.
Hold on.
Character.
When a wolf is angry, their ears don't go up. When a wolf is angry and they growl, their ears go back. So that's why his ears are back. Okay, now, mushroom question. Fast, huh?
Fast. Okay, Alan, I have one more question about the mushroom head character. If I sculpt the bottom of the mushroom flat on the table, how do I mold that? Also, I want the mushroom to be tilted back some so the design underneath doesn't go unnoticed. How do I do that without the front part where the mask and the cap meet from showing?
You just sculpt it.
I can't see it.
Oh, it doesn't have to. Just, I mean, so yeah, just sculpt it. I mean, it doesn't. If you can, it can be flat on a table. That doesn't mean you have to have it flat when you put it on. Tilt it back. Think about hats. A hat is flat. Put it on. You can tilt that hat back to open it up a little bit. You'd mold it the exact same way, except on your mushroom head sculpture, you'd have more showing in the front than in the back, because there's a line where that's tilted. That's all. The design is the same. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. You're having paralysis by analysis. Quit thinking about it and make your mushroom.
Hello,
Who?
Cobweb.
What's up, Cobweb? Cobwebs, I saw your video where you were in Target looking at Halloween stuff.
Target's up?
Target's up.
Oh.
And when I was in Target last, I really flirted with a gorilla skeleton. I'm probably going to go back and get one.
Paralysis by analysis. I need that on a shirt.
Oh, if you think about it too much, that's paralysis by analysis. You're thinking about it so much you don't get anything done. And that's not the way to live, kids. Okay, so the dark brown I had in my airbrush for Pelican is good for the werewolf. Remember I said we're going to go over everything with this. Those speckles that I did were just underpainting. Now we're going over everything. We're just going to bring this tone more into brown. A little gray brown, but you'll still see that this is translucent ink. You'll still see through this ink that pattern, but just a little.
Realm says that he wants that skeleton. And Algon Gorilla says, oh my god, I'm there tomorrow. A gorilla skeleton? Like Kitty, worse things can happen. You make another mushroom and can have multiple ones to choose. 1980 asks, did you cover the eyes?
No, I'm just going to alcohol them. One's coming out anyway, remember?
What should I use to make my own DIY tombstones for the base, texture, etc.?
Okay, so here's what I recommend for tombstones. And I never did a tombstone video on my channel because there's so many styrofoam tombstone videos out there. Now I do them differently than most people. I know you're shocked. But I make them out of 3-inch thick polystyrene foam, which is the white beaded foam. I carve in my detail with a soldering iron. I just I print it out on a sheet of paper, I lay it on top of the polystyrene foam, and I burn right through the paper. So that's how I do it. And then I paint the whole thing with liquid nails because I want a hard tombstone. And then I paint it gray, and I use my stone spray paint technique to make it stone.
Nicholas says he's beautiful.
Thanks.
Satellite asks, have you guys ever thought about making your own eyes with resin? Some people can make some really stunning stuff really easily.
I prefer the cabochon eyes with the circular glass cabochons, and then you can do either a printout or you can paint directly on the back of the eye. So that's my preferred method for eyes. So there you go.
Justin Rudy says, thanks for the help. We're going to get busy. The werewolf is looking awesome, by the way.
Thanks, man.
142 people are watching.
Hi, everybody. Now I'm putting black into the airbrush. And I'm going to do shading on this guy with black. And when I say shading, I mean, hitting these lines and just making him a little more striking. I'm not going to go as crazy as I normally do with my shading, simply because this is for a movie and not for a haunted house.
When planning on buying an airbrush, what type do you recommend for SFX makeup?
Pache H. So the Pache H will push anything through it. It's a single action airbrush, but you get good detail with it. That's what I'm using right now. And I can cover a wide area with it, or I can go all the way down and write my name the same size as the ballpoint pen. I can do both. Pache H. Get you an airbrush, you can do both.
You cover up the seams on the ears to the mask.
And then they'll be covered with hair. I mean, so much of this is going to have hair all over it. The shading just adds drama.
Correct?
Yes. They have a siphon feed, which is what I have, and they have the paint goes on top type of Pache H.
David Bunch, I wanted to say thank you for your cemetery statue videos. We finished 2 today, and I have 2 more to finish for our town's Halloween event. With the base, they are over 8 feet tall and lit from the base. Oh my gosh.
That's so awesome! I'm so
Oh my
glad.
God, that's great. Oh my gosh. David,
Yeah.
that's going to be so beautiful for your festival. That's exciting. Dr. Marta, Leah, hey. Painting while watching Alan paint. I'm illustrating a whole series of children's books. Thank you for keeping me inspired.
I will tell you what. All right, so that is a friend of ours who is also an artist, and I find horses to be one of the animals whose anatomy is just the hardest to draw. And I think we were sitting. There was an actress who was assaulted by an actor, and were we in court? And she was just sketching horses, and I was blown away by how much talent and how good you were at drawing horses, for the record.
Likewise, I was thinking about you dropping the glass eye. You can make cabochons with glass resin and not run the risk of shattering glass cabochons.
Yeah, it's easy to get the glass cabochons, so.
Cobweb says, I usually paint the wooden balls on Hobby Lobby size. Realm says, when I go to Spirit, I got the sewer varnish and the Nightcrawler, which are going to turn into a wolf with them from the display. I hope I said that right. Well,
Cool.
Justin Rudy, do you recommend an air compressor that won't draw in the wallet? I think mine from Hobby Lobby is getting close to crapping out.
Yeah, I don't recommend airbrush air compressors, really. Normally I recommend a regular air compressor, and right now I really love my airbrush compressor, well, my compressor that I'm using right now, which is from Harbor Freight. It's a silent compressor. It's the 2-gallon Eagle air compressor. Okay.
The girls having a dream.
Do you believe in magic? And I hope you do. Always have a friend wearing big red shoes.
Let's see. Celeste says, Ace of Clay has a cool way of painting. Follow you, cabochon eyes.
Cool.
Cobweb says, I just finished making over the swamp varmint. It was a pain in the butt. Nicholas Fincher says, I recently heard John Landis say he used Winston's wolf too much in American Werewolf in London. Opinions?
I'm not, that's one of my least favorite werewolf designs. I don't like the quadruped werewolf. I like them to be on 2 feet, please, thank you. And so, yes, I would say he used it too much also.
Alagog Gorilla has to head out, saying good night.
Good night. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thanks to all the werewolves, awesome. Sure looked great in the movie. Gregory Haynes checking in to see what's happening with the werewolf today. Gregory Haynes, you've been busy.
Yeah, he's making statues too.
Yes.
So I have alcohol on this piece of paper towel, and when I was painting, I wasn't worried about the eye because I knew I could just alcohol it off. And I actually like to leave a little bit of residue around the edge. I think that kind of binds the eye into the mask and makes it look less like it just like appeared or popped onto it. And this is my not detail piece. I have Q-tips for detail. I'm about to hit with those. And see, now the eye has that nice shadow around it, but it's still bright. If I didn't do that, then the whole eye is bright. And I like having that corona around it. Anti-corona. Umbra? Is that what that is? I'm making up words. Okay, now these eyes are clean, and now that werewolf has a piercing gaze.
Play Effect says this one is incredible. My favorite I've worked with yet to buy. I'm sorry. That's where you are. Brown says, can't wait for the possum. Sorry to mention them so much. I'm excited for them.
He's on his, we'll put them on the website soon.
Rob says I'm earning my smoothie tonight. And I'm just drinking water. I'm doing this wrong. Celeste says, reminds me of when I painted my sister a horse for her birthday art class, and the teacher turned it in for the statewide school art competition. I won 3rd place. My sister is still mad.
Hee hee.
Mad she never got it. Are those actually different eyes? Nicholas is asking.
The eyes are the same ones as yesterday. I haven't replaced, well, the other day. I haven't replaced this eye yet. This eye is still broken. When the new eye comes, they're the exact same as this. I'll pop this eye out, I'll put the other eye in, and airbrush it and clean it the same way. So you won't know which one. Now I have to grab the wax for these teeth.
Cobweb says, he kind of looks a bit like Wile E. Coyote.
That's the big ears. That's the big ears. And until the hair gets on, he's going to look a little Chihuahua-esque. He's got big eyes and big ears, and he's going to look a little bit like Wile E. Coyote. That is true.
Just Rudy figures I for once am having a beer while I sculpted. One time I have a beer and you don't sing at all.
I just haven't sung. I have actually. I've been singing.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Limelight says, how about a heterochromic werewolf? What does the buyer think about that?
That's, well, we have to talk about that ahead of time. For those who don't know, that is 2 different eye colors. I don't like it because you have to almost kind of force it to be explained in the story. It's not something you want to surprise people with. I mean your audience. This is a gloss sealer, and I'm going to gloss seal up the teeth before I wax them. That's just going to help that wax run around a little easier and be smoother. Let's grab the bottom jaw.
Rodney Crowe just jumped on.
What's up, Rodney? While that's drying, now we go back to the tongue. Check it out.
Lady FX is irritated someone gave you a thumbs down.
That happens all the time. I am also a moderator on several special effects and mask making web Facebook pages, and sometimes I have to boot people off of those pages, and they're not thrilled about it. So sometimes they come on my channel and they give me a thumbs down. That's okay. That's fine. That's how it works. They have a voice. And when this is dry, I will also hit it with the airbrush. Just putting a nice texture layer on it now so that it doesn't look like this flat piece of EVA. See the texture that you get from that? Lots of tongue texture. But in all honesty, thumbs downs aren't that terrible because it still counts as someone interacting with you on YouTube, so they kind of like it. YouTube likes it, I should say. Right now I'm in a pattern where I'm waiting. I do want to do that ink tonight. It is 10 o'clock. I do want to do that ink tonight, so let's get a heat gun out and dry that that stuff.
James Stevenson says, how do you make the hat for the gravedigger?
Actually, go to my YouTube channel and put in gravedigger hats because I've done videos on it. It's in a live. You gotta watch a whole live to find it. But I think one live video, I just made 5 gravedigger hats. That's what I had to do that night.
The Monster Maker's Perma-Wet and Flex Seal, the more water you add, the more wet look you get. Is that true for Liquitex Gloss Medium as well? Asks Justin Green.
I've never had to add water to it. I don't like to add water to it. I like to have a little bit of thickness and body. So I don't know.
Limelight says, my major was character design in video games, so I love physical abnormalities like vitiligo and heterochromia. It's finding the beauty and badassness in the unnormal.
That's true. That's very cool. But sometimes you have to explain that to your audience.
Bravo, Koji.
The problem with drying something that's gloss, it always looks wet. You never know when it's dry. Dry. And I will allow the other one, the lower jaw, to dry naturally while I wax these teeth. This is Sculpt Nouveau brown metal wax.
Jack Media 77. Hello again. Love the work you're doing on the werewolf. Just wondering, have you ever made a Sasquatch costume? Have you seen any good movies of Bigfoot? I love your show.
I have seen all of the movies of Bigfoot. Yes, I've made several Sasquatch costumes. There's actually a TV show called Freaky Links, which was done by the same guys who did Blair Witch. And they used a Bigfoot costume they got from me in order to make their Bigfoot. It's actually me in the intro of the show in my Bigfoot suit. Yeah, doing the clear coat over the teeth first, really awesome for getting this wax to slide around and move around, and it doesn't kind of stain and catch on the teeth like it can if you do it right on top of the latex paint.
1980 says, when you stop smelling solvents, it's supposed to dry.
It's my secret 1980. I always smell solvents here in the shop.
Limelight says, I enjoy writing as well. My D&D characters were very fleshed out and tragic. Koji says, okay, I have to make a new email from Facebook because they reviewed it. Perma-banned it.
Hooray!
That's so strange.
You must have done some fun stuff.
David B., hey, I just want to thank you for the use of plastic as a skin for my 6-foot-tall spooky tree I made a few weeks ago. I would have never thought to use that material.
Awesome. How'd it work out for you? Do you like it? Okay, so now I have the wax all over.
Celeste says there's a new Bigfoot documentary that I saw recently. It's pretty good. I'm all about cryptids and the paranormal.
Yes, you are.
135 people are watching.
And now the wax, I take off most of it, you know. I move it around. Now, I don't always do this with the clear coat first, but I do when, if it's for a movie or something, you just want a different look. When you see someone do something, not just me, the way they're doing it right now isn't necessarily the only way they know how to do it. It's the way that they think it's appropriate for now, for that project. I'm pretty happy with those teeth. Let's get this guy out of the way, and let's check the other ones.
Do you have an extensive costume collection?
I'm not a collector. I am a maker. I have 4 or 5 costumes that I wear myself.
What is your favorite werewolf design?
Bad Moon. It's a movie called Bad Moon. I also really like the werewolf that is in Cursed. That's a good looking werewolf. I like a quadruped, gray silver werewolf. I'll be right back.
Where's a good place to shop for masks online? Just cheap ones though. I checked Amazon, but they have garbage.
I recommend StillBeStudios.com or Lord Grimley's Manor. Lord Grimley's Manor. It's a mask site. Trick or Treat is also pretty good. I like a lot of their stuff. And Zagone Studios.
Stone Farmer, hello.
What's up, Stone Farmer?
JLR 538 says I love this mask.
Thank you.
Bloody Effects, what are your thoughts on tots?
Oh, Trick or Treat Studios. I like them. Now, I'm a maker myself, so, you know, I get stuff from them, and then I'll redo it a little bit. But I don't collect either. Like, I'm not a hardcore collector. If I get something from them because it's cheaper than me having to make it. And doing the wax this way with the clear coat first means that the wax is a little slipperier and slides around, and it's not as likely to stain the teeth as fast. So on this project, that made the most sense.
You don't see many werewolves these days, says David Lorraine.
I see a lot, but I look for them. You know, there's probably not enough werewolves. I think, you know, you hear every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Anytime an actor decides to do a honk clown, a cool monster didn't happen. You know, like a werewolf.
Alan
So
is a sword and axe collector.
I am. I have a lot of axes and a lot of swords.
Schwartz?
Swords. Okay, them's teeth. I feel like I have to try this on because if I am as a person, and we're at the end of the evening. Boy, I'll tell you what, from here, that werewolf head looks pretty sharp. Let me throw it on.
It says, what is everyone's favorite troll look? Anything from Spiderwick to Troll Hunter, Dumplings, or Tale types. I like the story of the High Government.
I would actually say Willow has my favorite looking trolls. The movie Willow.
Is that blood going onto the teeth?
No, that's just a brown wax to give them some look.
Mr. J Hob 75 says hello and thank you. Nicholas says saw the Zygone moving jaw werewolf in the movie Murder Party last night. Hello, James Minnick. Mine Cook says it looks like a chupacabra.
Without hair, yes.
It's freaky. I love it, says Harvey. Awesome mask so far, says the Haunt Dermits. Nice mask, Alan. I love it, says James. Cujo was a Chihuahua named Pedro. The mouth movement is awesome. No fur, it looks like an oversized Chihuahua, says Stacy Hawkins.
Yep.
It looks really good. Awesome work. Looks fantastic. He's going to be cool as hell with hair.
There we go. Okay.
Another mask.
I'm calling him a success so far.
Jaw movement is awesome. How is the vision? Asks Gregory Hayes.
It's actually great because of where I'm looking out. And like, I didn't just put the eyes in. I moved them out and I had to build new sockets for them. But you can see the screen where your eyes normally are. Your vision's actually pretty great. So when this thing has hair, it's going to be, I dare say, really nice.
Will this wolf have a tail? Heck, do any of your wolves have tails?
I'm not, at this point in time, I'm not making the costume for this. I'm making the head and the hands. So that's, wait, am I making hands yet? I gotta look, let me look and see if I'm making hands. I feel like I'm making head and hands.
Are you going to punch the hair?
No, I will not punch the hair.
Is it possible to put black screen in the mouth and still have the moving jaw?
This is just the mask. The hands would be coming. I think he said he was going to order hands down the road.
Is it possible to put black screen in the mouth and still have the moving jaw?
Yeah, that's going to happen. Yep. That's what I'm attaching the tongue to. That's why the tongue is not attached to the mask.
I can use the wood shop at school to make stilts. Is there a certain way to make them that you'd recommend?
There are lots of ways to make stilts. Boy, I recommend buying aluminum stilts. There's a lot of, like, don't buy cheap toilet paper, don't buy cheap ketchup, and buy good stilts. You're trusting maybe not your life, but your knee to them. So I would rather have a pair of stilts that were made by people who make stilts all the time. A lot of folks say, hey, there's these stilts for $99 on eBay. Yeah, they're there, and they're terrible. They bend, anything over like 170 pounds or so on them. Just buy yourself some stilts. Save up money, get a nice set of stilts. They will take you places if you have good stilts. There's no shock absorption in wooden stilts. If you want to do peg stilts for a parade or something, there are some good plans for those that start with a hardwood 2x2. You cannot use pine, but anyway, stilts are a whole big thing. Wife, any questions before I sign off for the evening?
Do you mean like drywall stilts?
Yes, like drywall stilts. Yes, exactly. All right. In that case, wife, say goodnight.
Good night.
I say goodnight. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. And go make stuff.